Hello, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and today I want to talk about how to create a customer avatar the right way. Okay, so first of all, this is very important because if you have the best product and you have made the best marketing campaign in the world, no matter how good your product or your marketing is, but if you put this product in front of the wrong audience, it's not going to work, it's going to fail, right? So this is why this is so important. So let's start first of all with what a customer avatar is. So basically a customer avatar is a representation of your ideal audience, okay? This is also known as a persona or buyer personas. Why is this so important? Well, because of the reason I just stated right before, that if you have the best product in the world and you do the best marketing campaign in the world, but you target it to the wrong audience, your campaign is going to fail and you are not going to be able to sell these products, right? And this is also important because the avatar is going to determine the tone, the message, and the targeting. All right, so it's going to be, this should be able to determine all these things, and this is why we are switching to the next part, which is about the objectives. So the objectives part should align with the objectives of your marketing. All right, so this is why I separate this in 3 different objectives: advertising, copywriting, and content and SEO. All right, so in the part of advertising, you should be able to go back to your avatar when you are trying to advertise a product and you want to know where your customers are hanging out, right? In different platforms such as Facebook ads, Google ads, or YouTube ads. When it comes to the copywriting, it's you want to find out the way you should speak to your customer, what the tone, what the voice that you should speak whenever you are writing something like, for example, a Facebook ads or an email campaign or whatever you may write in. This is going to show you what is the tone that you should put emphasis into. Okay, and finally we got the part of the content and SEO. So you wanna use the avatar to go back to it whenever you are trying to find new content ideas, and also to find out what are the most common keywords that your customers are typing, the more general keywords. So you have an idea. Of course, you have to do further research on it, but you will have an idea of how to do, or what are those basic keywords that your customers are using just by looking back to your avatar. And I'm going to make an example here in order to explain you the avatar, because I'm going to be about to show you is a customer avatar template, and we are going to make this template together. And in order to do it, I'm going to suppose to have an online yoga business who sell online courses. Okay, online yoga business who sell online courses. Okay, so now having that in mind, we are going to the customer avatar template, and we are going to the top, and this is a template that I create by myself, and I separate this template based on the 3 objectives that we stated before: advertising, copywriting, and content and SEO. Okay, so I also made a part that is called summary, which is basically the overview of the customer avatar, right? But the most important part here are, as I said before, advertising, copywriting, and content and SEO. Let's start with advertising. So in advertising, we want to find out where our customer is hanging out. Okay, what type of blog posts they are reading, what books they are reading, what are their interests and hobbies, what are their demographics, what gurus and experts they are following, and so on. So if we click here, we go more deep into it, we find this demographic part. Okay, and we want to fill this up as much as I could based on research. And let's start with the demographics. So in the demographic, we see personal attributes and professional attributes. In the personal attribute, we see the age, gender, income, education, and location. And in the other one, we see title, company size, and who this customer reports to. Now, I'm going to tell you that you don't have to fill up all these blanks just for the sake of filling up, because many of those are not going to apply for your business. For example, in the part of education, if you are targeting students, So the part of the education might be relevant, but you are not targeting a student, or you are not targeting something that where this file is relevant, so you don't need to fill this up, okay? um, and the same with the professional trials. In many occasions this is not going to be relevant, or at least just when you just started your business. So you don't need to know where the company side of the customer is if you are targeting online yoga businesses, but you might want to know this data if you are let's say a marketing agency who are targeting other companies, right? So that is when it becomes relevant. Now let's start with the filling up those blanks. So ideally you will fill up the age and gender and let's say the location based on based on your current customer, based on the information you gather from the current customer. But if you don't have customer yet, or you are just starting a business, so a good way to do this research is using Google, okay? And you just type something like who practice yoga demographics, okay? So if we type this, we found some information here that people aged between 30 and 49 years old practice yoga more than any other group. And if we click here, we will find also this information very disclosure as well. So here is the information very disclosure, and we find out that 90% of yoga practitioners are between 18 and 29 years old, 42% between 30 and 49, and 38% between 50 plus years old. Okay, so since the 30 to 49 years old are the group with more percentage, we can start off with this, and we can start filling up this blank with it, okay? So it will give you a clue of what type of customer we should target first, okay, whenever you are doing advertising. And same with the gender. In the same way we found information about it, we will find information about gender, also the location. So if you are a local business, so this is gonna be very important. But if you are an online business, like for example an online yoga business who sells online courses, the location is not going to be relevant, but it's going to be relevant in the way that you are, for example, if your courses are in English, you want to target English speaking countries. And in any case, whenever you start something like that, you want to start with one specific country and then expand as you grow as well, okay? So this is something that you are going to see depending on your personal business. Now let's go to the part of blogs, books, and magazines, and etc. So you want to find out here what type of blog posts your customers are reading. And how do I do that? Well, you can simply just go to Google. You can type something like yoga blogs, and you find an article here that says top 20 yoga and wellness blogs to follow in 2020. Okay, so we are in 21 right now, but it could be also useful. And if we go to this article, we find a list of all those blogs. So here you go, a list of all those blogs where your audience is very likely to be hanging out. So if you are targeting people that are interested in yoga, it is very likely they are reading some of those blogs, okay? So this is how we did the research for here, and you can do the same for the other files, for the blogs, for books and magazines, for gurus and experts, favorite brands, interests and hobbies, main competitors, tools, softwares and apps they are using, what events they are going, what association or memberships they belong to, and all this, okay? Now that we fill up the part of the advertising, let's go to the part of the copywriting. And in the part of the copywriting is going to be very important the goals, values, and the challenge that this customer is facing. But we are going to also talk about the pain points and hooks and how to fill up those blanks, and also what is the transformation of a customer before buying your product and after buying your product, okay? So we are going to talk about this right away. So in the part of the copywriting, we need to find out what are the goals, values, and challenges of this customer, and how do we know that? How do we research this? Okay, so the way to research this is going back to communities and forums. So you can just go to a Facebook group about yoga, and you can join this group and you observe and listen to the conversation that is happening in this group, and based on that you gather information here. If you don't want to join to the Facebook group, you can also go to a yoga forum or a forum related to your business. So if I type here yoga forums, I find here a list of forums, and we see here that this forum is Reddit, which is a very authoritative one and a one that many people go. So I'm going to click here, and if we click here in close, we will see that there are all those posts about yoga that people ask here in this community, right? And we can dig into one specifically, or we can just research in different ones and find those goals, values, and challenges. So let's, for example, go into this one. So this one is about how do I know when I'm overstretching or understretching. So basically, this customer stated that he started doing yoga and almost feel like sometimes I'm not stretching at all. I'll do a certain stretch or position that my body isn't used to, and just hold it there. If I push any further, there is a tightness or pain extremely mild. I don't go any further in that pose, into that pose. Is that the right mentality to have? So if you keep reading, you will see that this customer also played the guitar, and this is why he practiced yoga poses that are stretching his arms and shoulders. And he also said that that he doesn't, when he do the yoga, he doesn't feel like he's really stretching, and he doesn't know if he's doing right or not. So for what we can read here, we can find what is the goal of this customer, what is the objectives, and what is something that this customer value. So if we start with the values, we find that definitely this customer value flexibility a lot. So this is something that we could do. One of the values is flexibility. Okay, and what are the goals of this customer? So one of the goals of this customer could be something like find the right poses to stretch arms and shoulders. Okay, nice. And now let's go with the challenges. What is this customer struggling with? So as we read before, this customer are struggling with stretching. Okay, and there you go, we have goals, values, and challenges based on real research, that this person here posts here, which is something that he specifically is struggling. So like this customer, there are many other people that post stuff here, and they really want to find some specific answer. So you can gather information from that and fill up your customer avatar, because this is going to be very useful and very relevant to know the way of how you have to speak with this customer, because now you know this customer, for example, value very much flexibility, and his goal is find the right poses to stretch shoulder and arms, and he's struggling with stretching. Okay, and let's go now down to the part of the pain point and hooks. So based on what we have researched here, one of the possible pain points that we can find here is under stretching. Okay, so because this customer doesn't know when he's under stretching or overstretching, and as we read here, it feels like it might be kind of under stretching. So we don't know yet, but this is something that you need to research very, very well. So if one of the hooks is under stretching, we could say something like doing yoga but feeling like not stretching. Okay, so if you notice here, I use the language that this customer is speaking, like right here. So this is the magic of this. When we reserve about this, we can really see the tone of this customer, what words they are using, and use all this in our copywriting. Okay, so this customer is stating here, I started doing yoga and I almost feel like sometimes I'm not stretching at all. So doing yoga but feeling like not stretching. So if I post this message in a Facebook ad or in a Google app, this is something that is going to resonate straight away with this customer. So another hook that we found here is pain. So for example, we could say something like feeling tightness or extreme pain when doing yoga. Okay, so another thing that speaks the language of this customer and definitely is going to resonate with a customer like this, because he says something like at the end, if I push any further, there is a tightness of pain extremely mild. Okay, so there is chances are that this customer will resonate with this hook of pain. Okay, okay, so now that you have seen that, let's go with the part of the transformation. And the part of the transformation really apply to one specific product that you are selling. So if you are an online yoga business who sell yoga courses, so you might have a course called about flexibility. So let's say flexibility course. Okay, so you have this flexibility course that is a total match for this type of customer, and you want to find here based on this specific course what does your prospect have in the before stage. So basically before this prospect buy your product and after he buy your product. So here you can see something like he had no flexibility, and in the after stage of having he have flexibility. Okay, this is going to be very useful for you to write an ad copy, right? Now, in the part of field, we could say something like, how does this prospect feel in the before stage? So basically, this prospect feel like not stretching at all. And how does this prospect feel after purchasing this flexibility course? Okay, so he feel arms and let's say shoulder stretched. Okay, so I guess you get the point at this time of how you have to fill this and how this is going to help you write your copy as well. All right, so you can do the same thing in the average day file, in the status file, in the good versus evil. The good versus evil is basically what is an evil that is flagging the prospect in the before state, and how does your prospect conquer it and bring more good to the world in the after state. Okay, so same with the proof and results and the speed and automation. Okay, so this is how you have to fill up this, right? Now let's go to the next part, which is going to be content. As we saw before at the beginning, the next one is going to be content and SEO. So let's go back to the part of the content, and this part should be used and should help you to determine what type of content pieces you are going to post, whether it is in your website, or whether it is in YouTube, or whether it is in Facebook, or whether it is in Instagram. So for example, if you want to find have an idea of what type of content to post, you can check what type of content is out there. So if we go to YouTube and we type something like yoga, we are going to reserve what type of content are related to yoga in YouTube. So you see here, yoga for a fresh start. So this is one of the type of content. You can type here, yoga for a fresh start. Then you have here yoga for uncertainty, yoga for uncertainty, and you got 20 minutes full body stretch, 20 minutes full body stretch, etc. Okay, so you should keep filling up this, so it's going to give you also ideas for whenever you want to create content in YouTube. You have a YouTube channel, and the same things apply for blogs. So if you type yoga in Google, you will find all the blog posts related with yoga and what are those posts talking about. Okay, so you can write down the titles here, and it will give you also an idea of what type of content to create, because this content is already out there and is actually getting interest among your audience. And same thing with Facebook and Instagram. In Instagram, we mainly want to find out what are those influencers out there, what type of content, what type of photos and videos they are posting on Instagram, right? Now, let's go to the part of SEO, which is main keywords. Okay, so in the part of the main keywords, basically we are going to find out what are the generic keywords that your customer is tagging based on your company. So if your company is an online yoga business or sell yoga courses, one keyword could be simply yoga. Okay, so in order to research this, you could use tools such as Ubersuggest, for example. That is a tool that allows you to do keywords research. So I type the yoga word here and I search into the United Kingdom, but I could have searched in any other country like United States, Japan, or many others. Okay, so this is going to depend again from where your business is based. And if I type yoga and if I scroll down, I will find some keyword ideas, and I will find also the difficulty of these keywords based on competency right here at the end, which is one of the most important parts and what we want to check as well. We see that the keyword yoga is quite competitive, so probably if you just type yoga in the keyword of your articles or your content, is going to be very difficult to rank. But if you, for example, use yoga for beginners, which have a less competency, but still have a reasonable volume, you are going to have many more chances to rank in Google, right? So the best one here are yoga for beginners and yoga near me. So once you find this, you type here yoga for beginners and yoga near me. Okay, and you can also click here in view all keywords, and it will disclose you all those or a lot of more keyword ideas. Okay, and you could be able to do a further research. So this is something that is very recommended and definitely something that you should include in your customer avatar. Of course, you are not going to use those keywords for everything, but it's going to give you a general idea of what type of keywords your customer are typing, and also what type of keywords are very relevant in terms of less competency for SEO. Okay, so this is everything for now. So this video is now around 22 minutes, and this is quite long. I wanted to do this video in 10 minutes or less, but definitely I didn't achieve that at all. But I really hope that you have got so much value out from it, and definitely will help you to do your customer avatar that is resonated with the marketing objectives such as advertising, copywriting, and content and SEO. So I hope this video is very valuable for you, and if you like it, please give me the thumb up and subscribe to this channel. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.